Gagon. Agent de vie associative chez Uni Coopération Financière.
Sébastien Deschamps, local board member for Uni and the business team.
Product marketing at the Social and lecturer here at marketing course at UM.
Dear judges and executives of Uni Coopération Financière, before we get into the presentation, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Roma, and even though I'm just a fourth-year financing student, I have a passion. I want to own professional recording equipment with which I can record my favorite local musicians, interview them on my YouTube channel. That is one of my hobbies.
And my name is Amy, and I've always had a dream of getting my MBA and living with a nice, beautiful family in a beautiful lake house.
My name is Brenda, and aside from being a student, my biggest dream is to travel the world, meet new people, and see new places.
So as you see, even though we're simple millennials, simple business students, we have passions and dreams that financing corporations like yourselves really need to attune yourselves to. And this is exactly the messaging that we kept in the back of our minds. Why not have a collaborative, innovating approach to a company like yourselves who can give us the financing to realize our dreams and potentials for years and years to come? And that is exactly what we did. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation. We'll tell you why we're here. What is the key mandate of us today? The analysis that went back when creating an innovative marketing strategy, in other words, the consumer, the competitor, and most importantly, the target market. We'll tell you how to implement our innovative marketing solution, and most importantly, we'll tell you how much is this going to cost and how much is it going to bring into your bottom line. So without further ado, Brenda with the mandate.
Okay, so to take you through the mandate, the reason why we're here today is to design an innovative marketing plan for Uni's youth clientele. And to do so, we came up with two key performance indicators. The first is to increase the market share in the Greater Moncton area by 50% in the next 3 years. The second would be to increase the retention rate of products utilized by the current members by 25%. Now, to walk you through the analysis, if we take a step back and look at the industry as a whole, as of right now, there has been a negative connotation towards banks and loaning money after the 2008 financial crisis. However, over time, people have began starting to forget about this, and with potential hike in interest rates, people want to take advantage of the lower interest rates right now. Another growing trend are startups. People want to build new companies, especially those in our age range of the millennials. And this is a group that wants to borrow large sums of money right now to pay for their cars, for travels, as we mentioned. And lastly, technological advancements are changing the industry, which is something that we should really take note of. Now, if we take a look at the competitors, you can see here how Uni ranks against the rest. However, there are three key rows that we really want to highlight. The first and the second, they go hand in hand, are the advices and guides, as well as a dedicated web section. That's something that Uni has already, and it is a great aspect that we have. However, it's something that we could really capitalize on, and it's something that not all the other competitors have. That being said, the last row is something that we don't have that other competitors have that we should also take advantage of, which is the welcome offer you will see us talk about in our strategy. Now, taking a look at where we lie in the perceptual map, we chose to base it off of two key strengths. It's the collaboration and the community involvement. As of right now, there is community involvement. Uni does do a lot of sponsorship and community involvement, and it is shown a little bit on the website. However, it's something that we really want to increase and show the community, as well as collaboration. Members are able to join in on decision making at the meetings. Again, what we want to do is take that circle and bring it to the top right corner, where there's high community involvement and high collaboration.
Next, we took a look at the consumers, the people who are actually signing up with and getting your lending services. So we know that the age range that you want us to look at is between 16 to 30 years old, but we decided to take a deeper look into each of these different segments. So starting with the 16 to 19-year-olds, this could be men or women, they living in the Greater Moncton area. Their milestones coming up would be buying a car. They just got their license. They love a vehicle to drive around and pick their friends up in. Starting university or college is also a really big milestone that they're preparing for, and this is when they could be looking at your services perhaps. The technological knowledge for all three of these segments are very high. Seeing this millennial age, we just grew up with it. Looking at the higher age, 20 to 25, again, man and woman, Greater Moncton area, they're now in university and college, preparing for the next job, perhaps still looking for a job or looking to travel, and they want to maybe start their own business now that they have a few years of university under their belt, and they're looking at their first apartment. Now keep in mind this age range could also include those who opted not to go to school and instead took a more entrepreneurial route. Now lastly, there's the 26 or 30-year-olds, maybe they're out of school or they never actually went to school, but they are looking at starting their own business, buying a house for their family that potentially they're just starting now, and getting a car and all those huge milestones. But what's most important to take into consideration with all three of these different segments within the demographic of 16 to 30 is that every single one of them values community involvement and collaboration. You know, as millennials, we're sharing everything we do online. We love collaborating, and community is always one thing that we keep in mind, whether it's the environment or just being a good neighbor.
Now, if we take a look at the current situation, there's a lot of focus centered around, as Amy mentioned, sharing, collaboration, support, and inspiration. That's what Uni is really founded on. And currently now there's already the website portal that I mentioned, the uni.ca, for millennials, dedicated to millennials, where it's a platform where you can share suggestions and recommendations and financial advice. There was also the execution of the Instagram contest that let people talk about their dreams and donate some of that money to a charity of their choice. And because of that, we know that your company is very involved in the community already. Lastly, members can participate in annual meetings. As I said, the decision can be made by other members in the community as of right now, and they can also join the community cooperative committees. Now, I'm going to bring you through the SWOT analysis. This is a bit of a twist on the traditional SWOT analysis. We'll still go through the strengths, the weaknesses, but we'll also go through the eurekas, the things that really stood out, those aha moments in our research. And then we'll go through the threats. And from all this, we'll pull together the opportunities. So what works well? As of right now, there's a web section dedicated to millennials. There's also a good history of involvement in the community that we really want to highlight on the website. And then lastly, your company is really centered around uniting strengths of the community, especially all focused around collaboration and community involvement. However, some of the weaknesses are that there's a loss of sense of belonging to the Acadian community because of the name change. Acadie is no longer in it, which we did note. A second thing is that people are looking elsewhere for loans, other banks and other credit unions as well. And then that Uni does not provide a welcome offer, which is something we'd like to ideally change. Now, the eurekas, the things that really stood out. Millennials really want instant gratification. When we buy something, we want rewards, we want bonuses, discounts, loyalty programs, that kind of thing. That's something we really look for. Also, entrepreneurship is a growing trend. People want to be their own bosses, especially in this age range as of right now. And student debt is on the rise. People are living with their parents longer, and tuition prices are also increasing. Now, some threats is that because of the potential hike of interest rates, there is competition, much greater competition right now, and from other banks and credit unions. However, from all this, we came up with three main opportunities. The first is to leverage the existing web platform and really highlight the relationship with the community, especially the Acadian community. The second would be to create scholarships dedicated to dreams, student dreams, people out of university dreams, anything you can think of. And the third would be to develop a program focused on entrepreneurship.
So now that we've walked through the analysis, let's go to the big picture. Let's unveil the strategy for Uni Coopération Financière. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, for 2017, the tagline of this particular marketing campaign is One for All. Alluring to the famous words of one of the most famous books ever, The Four Musketeers by Dumas, one for all and all for one. One for all, uni for all. And if we go back to the francophonie, again, you're alluring to one of the most famous French authors of all time, and it's un pour tous, tous pour un. Now, the play on words here is that one for all means there's one innovative bank, collaboratively and community-based bank, that is there for all the financing needs of every millennial. On the other hand, it's all for one. Why? Because it's a community-based bank. Members collaborate together in the decision-making process of the bank, and most importantly, they draw from each other to create a common wealth. And that is exactly what you said. You want a business model that transcends the fact that greater wealth is common wealth. So for the target market, as Amy walked through this before, again, with this marketing campaign, as you will see through the 4 P's of marketing, we're really focused on community involvement and collaboration throughout. And those are the key values that we want to transcend through every single one of those P's.
So when we take a look at the value proposition that we are giving to each one of those customer segments, because keep in mind, we do have strategies for every single one of those segments, those values are community involvement, a lending service that is collaborative, something that is inspiring, dream fulfilling, and most importantly, supportive. So when we look at the positioning map after our strategy is implemented, you will be seen as a more collaborative and company in the Acadian community that is way more involved.
So let's start off with the first P, the product. We focused on your website. We realized that millennials love the internet, they love fancy apps, and we said, okay, well, you already have a great internet page that's generating a lot of traffic. Why not leverage that to even higher extent and really create a ripple in the industry? So we created the One for All webpage, improved website portal. On this portal, you will see a directory of your past satisfied clients, whether it be for car loans, whether it be for school loans or mortgages. They will be broken down by such product category. So for example, myself, if I'm looking for a new car loan and I'm on your website, I will click past car loan customers. I click on one of the on this directory, I choose any of the names there, or one, if the customers would like to stay anonymous, one of the numbers. I click on that number and I can ask any question I want about this particular loan. Why they chose Uni? What drove them from this car loan? What was their life situation like? Are they similar? Do they have similar values? It's all about collaboration in this case. Now, the question that you might be asking is, well, why would anybody want to disclose such information online? And here's where the referral bonus comes into play. Your competitors already have referral bonuses or welcome bonuses, so why not take this to the next step? If the new potential client, by asking one of these anonymous or fully disclosed past clients for help with regards to choosing a loan structure, if they sign on the dotted line, the person who helped them will receive a $50 cash bonus or receive that $50 off their next payment on their loan. It's a phenomenal way to actually get the two groups to work together and most importantly to collaborate. Second of all, going back to my example of receiving a new car loan, if I'm in the Moncton area, for example, and I want a new car, I can go to various dealerships. So when I'm on your website, why not make a directory for local Acadian dealerships on that website as well? So I can click on any of the car dealerships and they can actually lead me to making that purchase decision. In other words, you're inspiring the buyer to actually make the purchase, you're supporting them throughout their decision, and most importantly in the end, they're really getting the funding that they deserve and that they're really looking for. What this means is, not only are you getting more clients in the greater Moncton area, you're improving those retention rates that you crucially want.
So now I'll talk to you about Uni Summer Company Program. Now this is something that your company has never done before, and that is being there for the people who want to start their own business. When we were doing our research, we saw that the steps you really want to be there for them is buying a home, when they're entering the job market, when they're getting a new car. But one thing we didn't see was starting their business. So with this Uni Summer Company Program, it's a great way to collaborate with the community by offering people will apply to this program, people who maybe have a startup idea in mind, like for Roma, for example. So he can apply to this program and get funding, support, advice from mentors, veterans in the area, possibly your own clients, who have been business leaders in the community, and they have the chance for 4 months in the summer, in between the school break, to start their own business in a way that's safe. And what that does for not only your company, but Moncton's economy in general, is these companies could then be the ones who are hiring and making hundreds of jobs within Moncton, therefore leading to a higher tax and a greater economy. So what this does is it brings together the community, like I said before, and you're collaborating. And ways to collaborate is what I'll talk to you about in the partner and pathway decisions, because we're not changing your price at all. So because you are stimulating the local economy, there are so many opportunities out there to partner with local municipality and provincial governments, or local economic development agencies who just, their main mandate is to create jobs and wealth in Moncton and New Brunswick. So there are definitely subsidies and partnership opportunities that you can leverage. So now let's talk about the key promotional messages that we will have in this entire campaign. So example of messages that you can include in your promo is one lender for all your needs, members united, all for one and one for all. So when we look at the promotion, there's two key aspects to consider, and one is we're introducing the One for All scholarship. Now, we loved your 1,000 Better Ways campaign that you did last year, and we just want to grow it. And by doing this, we will have people who are in high school or university or college, and they can apply with maybe 1,000 to 2,000 words of what their dream is. Like Roma said at the beginning, like Brenda and myself all said, every millennial has a dream. And this is your way to make it a reality. So by having this semi-annual scholarship, there is no losers. So like your contest before, there are people who kind of, who didn't get the money and that was it. But with this, every single person who signs up, congratulations in your inbox, you'll get a chance to, perhaps you were pre-approved for a credit, or, oh, please come to our office and we'll talk to you about how we can make this possible, even if they don't win that $10,000. Most importantly, with the community, to continue the contest that you had last year, $5,000 will also go to the charity of their choice. So most importantly about this is that you will be able to collect invaluable target market data on every single person who submits that essay, and then you can follow up with them and make sure that you are servicing all their needs and really play on that KPI of keeping the retention rates high. Now for the media plan. We want to focus more on Facebook and Instagram and more user-generated content in an inbound marketing way. So you're not just selling, oh, look at our rates or our lending services, but oh, look at Michelle from Moncton who was able to travel to Europe and let's see her pictures. Or look at my new car that I just bought, thanks Uni. So like I said, more generated content, but we'll also be focusing still on traditional media, so TV, print, out of home, most importantly at bus stops, because we know that Moncton has free Wi-Fi on their bus. So what a perfect way to, they see the ad and right then and there they can go on your website. And also these people don't have cars yet until they get your services. So I'll let Roma explain what the commercial can look like.
So this is a simple example of a graphic that should be on both TV and most importantly in the buses. So again, you have individuals, diverse individuals, as you see by the smiley faces, thinking of different dreams and ambitions that they want to pursue. This could be a new car, graduation dream, home, vacation, etc. But most importantly, all this is possible via one institution, and that is Uni. Uni for all, one for all. Again, if they're interested in this, the first thing they do is they see at the focal point, scan here, a QR code. It takes them straight to that website where the directory opens up, where they can find out much more about their lending needs.
Now, I would be very happy to go through our timeline of this innovative marketing plan, but most importantly, I want to tell you what you will get as a return for the strategy.
So for the financials, again, we developed an intricate 3-year, and we focused on the first year, of course, but a 3-year marketing budget, really showing you how the return on investment will really come from the new clients gained in the Moncton area. So again, within the next 3 years, you should be expecting 11,000 new clients, meeting our key performance indicator of 50% growth in that region over the next 3 years. The most important thing to keep in mind is that the cost is relatively low. It's only $47 per new client who signs on the dotted line for each and every loan. Again, only $47. So, in conclusion, today we've discussed two main aspects: an innovative marketing plan for your corporation to really reach that youth clientele, to reach two main objectives. The first being, as I mentioned, increasing the market share in the Greater Moncton area by 50% over the next 3 years, and starting today, increasing the retention rate of products utilized by both current members and future members as well. So again, dear judges and executives, thank you so much for listening to our presentation. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask.
how's your strategy will bring, if we go to the second objective that we have, how's your strategy will bring increase in our current clientele retention and increase of product retention?
Perfect. So by actually employing our marketing strategy, you're informing not only the new customers, but also the existing customers on the potential benefits that they have not yet received. So you have someone who perhaps had a car loan and someone else who has a mortgage. Now, what the key point about the referral program is that it doesn't only apply to brand new clients. If you refer someone to a new loan, whether it's an existing client or not, they'll receive a cash bonus for it. And they're really willing to share their positive experiences with the company before. So instead of going to someone else for their car loan, they will remain within the community of Uni.
My question would be like how to get the past client to answer the questions online. Do you have like a strategy to really bring people to share and to answer other people around?
So that is where the incentive comes in with the referral bonus, and in all of our promotional messages, we will be advertising the referral bonus as well as the welcome bonus. So by giving them that cash incentive, or maybe like lowering their rates for a certain amount a year, and giving them the incentive to start that relationship with them, then we feel that that will really be the incentive for them to start reaching out and answering questions.
And how do you expect the would you estimate the number of people who would be interested in sharing that information in order to receive the referral fees? I see the amounts that you put in the financials, but how did you estimate?
So in the financials, the number of new clients gained, those are 25% of those new clients will actually be coming from the referral. The other 75% are really coming from the basis of simple marketing and the actual broader aspect of our campaign. Now, to answer your question of how we get those customers to actually share the information, first of all, the sheer volume of potential referrals you can gain, even though $50 doesn't seem like a lot, if you can do this, once to 3 times a week, that's $150 extra dollars in your pocket. So for a student like myself, I would 100% spend 2 or 3 minutes answering someone's questions to really get them to sign on the dotted line so that I can get a cash bonus. And most importantly is, just like the Facebook interface, something we failed to mention was, just like the Facebook interface, when you go in this directory, you can see other clients who are online who can answer your questions now. Not in 24 hours later with your sales representative, but really now. So that cash comes right away for that instant gratification aspect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Absolutely.